Ricky Hatton is making his return to the ring after taking a brutal shot from Manny Pacquiao. If you have not seen it, I'll throw a link in the description for you guys to check that out. It's been 3.5 years since that night with just 6 seconds left in the second round. He was knocked down repeatedly by Manny Pacquiao. So again, 3.5 years. In those 3.5 years, Ricky Hatton has, as he has said, had to fight off demons. He abused cocaine. He was abusing alcohol. He was suicidal. His wife caught him many times attempting, or at least about to, slit his wrist. He has a troubled relationship now with what was once viewed as incredibly supportive parents from Manchester. He is in a lawsuit against his former trainer and friend, Billy Graham. Ricky Hatton's life has been spiraling down like crazy. So let me ask you this, Robert. He's fighting a former welterweight title holder who lost to Paulie Malignaggi, but this seems like it's way more than just boxing. What do you make of all this?
It is way more than boxing. What has happened to Hatton since that loss? Of course, and there's a real question whether or not a loss to Manny Pacquiao, prime Manny Pacquiao, is enough to sort of lose complete control of oneself, but Hatton did. He, all the things that you said, you know, the suicide attempts, or at least contemplation, the drugs, the alcohol, the overeating, and the incredible plummeting of self-esteem, which is what he's trying to retrieve. He looks upon himself as having been a failure. He failed his children, he failed his countrymen, he failed his fellow Mancusians. He basically thinks that he's a failure, and that the only way that he's going to be able to turn around that perception, which of course is in fact a misperception, is by fighting again and proving that he's not a failure, that he's a winner. Now, I'm not so sure that low self-esteem, that the antidote to low self-esteem is being punched. It would seem that that is sort of the anti-antidote, and yet that is what Hatton is trying to do. After 3.5 years, he's trying to recapture his youth, trying to capture lightning in a bottle, trying to rewind, turn back the hands of time, to reclaim lost glory. Many fighters have felt this in the past. Hatton is feeling it in the present, and he's going to sort of resume his career on Saturday, and I have very mixed feelings about it personally.
The fight is taking place in Manchester. You know, for me, when I look at this story and I look at what has become Ricky Hatton over these last 3.5 years, you know, we talked about him and it's just plain sad, but when we look at it and we examine it, he called himself a failure, and he feels like he's failed, you know, as you said, his countrymen and his family and his kids and, you know, his inner circle, everyone around him, everyone that he's ever, you know, touched personally inside or been close to. You know, you said that he felt like a failure for losing, but okay, he wins this fight. Maybe he gets another fight with, you know, I'm not going to say a Paulie Malignaggi, but, you know, obviously a better opponent, because it's, hey, Ricky Hatton's back. What happens when he loses that fight?
That is the $64,000 question. Is his opinion going to change that dramatically if he wins this fight? And if it does, I mean, it speaks volumes to his state of mind. I mean, it's not a stable state of mind. Boxing is nothing that really reinforces a stable state of mind. It's not a question of only being hit in the head, which affects the mind, but the rise and fall of one's own career affects one's mind dramatically. Hatton will lose eventually. He may lose Saturday, which might be the best thing in the world, because then he can sort of end this sort of one-and-done business and, you know, get some professional help, because he's not a loser. He's not a failure. He's a winner. If one looks at his background, looks from where he came, I mean, if this guy's not a winner, I don't know who is a winner. I mean, to have 2 losses on one's record to Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr., the 2 greatest fighters of his era, I mean, that's no crime. he's not a failure. He's a winner. I wish I could sit him down and say, listen, you're a winner, you're a winner. But he's not going to listen to anybody, which is why he's alienated from his family, from his parents, from his trainer, all of whom know what awaits him as he resumes his career. In some ways, I'm rooting for Hatton because I want Hatton to win so that he will think that he is yet again a winner. And on the other hand, I like to see him lose. I like to see him lose quickly without taking a big beating so that he can sort of get on with his life, get on with his production, his promotional company, get on with training fighters, and not have to endure a beating again.
So on one side, you think that it would be good for him to win, and then on the other side, you think that it would be good for him to just lose really quickly?
I think in the long run, a quick loss would be the best thing because it will reinforce the fact that he no longer has it, which is what he has been suffering with for the past 3.5 years. Whereas if he wins, he's going to think that he is the cat's meow. He is back. They're already saying he's back. He hasn't even fought yet. In all the papers in Britain, he's back. Hatton is back. And he hasn't even fought yet. And if he wins, he's going to really think he's back. And then, of course, he's going to sort of up the competition, and the inevitable loss, as you pointed out, is going to happen. And then what happens to him? Does he spiral out of control again? It's inevitable.
It remains to be seen, I suppose. He is known for drawing crowds. He drew 30,000 people to, I believe, just the press conference, the weigh-in against Floyd Mayweather Jr. at the MGM Grand. You know, as I said, this fight is taking place in Manchester. For Senchenko, I believe I told you guys earlier that he lost to Paulie Malignaggi. Malignaggi actually knocked him out. Tell me the last time you've heard that. And he seems like the bigger fighter. He has a 70-inch reach. So, I mean, do you think, take your heart out of it for a second and just think a little objectively, do you think that Hatton wins this fight?
I do think Hatton wins this fight. I think he picked a good opponent, a tough opponent, but opponent who gets cut, an opponent who gets knocked out. In a way that sounds perfect for Ricky Hatton.
I guess this is my final question to you, Robert. You know, you said that if he took a beating really early, then maybe he could see that he doesn't have it anymore. However, on the flip side, and I guess I'm just playing devil's advocate, or maybe I just honestly feel this. On the flip side, if he goes in there and he loses in the first, second, or third round, early stoppage, gets knocked out, or his corner has to save him because he will not give up, technically, won't he be thinked of, or he will have this perception, he will think that people have this perception of him that he's a failure once again if he gets knocked out in the first, second, or third round?
But if he already has that perception and he's going into this fight in order to turn that perception around, how? I'm assuming that this perception is sort of a stain that's not going to wash out, and it's not going to wash out with one win over Senchenko. It's a stain that is going to remain and will reveal itself over time if he continues to fight. So, I mean, again, there's a certain inevitability because, again, the problem is not being resolved. If one has low self-esteem, being hit in the head is not necessarily the best thing for one's self-esteem. There are psychological overlays that I don't want to get into because I'm not a professional in that particular realm. But I'm not sure that his returning to the ring is a good thing for Ricky Hatton, period.
Well, we will have to wait and see. Either way, we are rooting for Ricky Hatton, not just in the ring, but in the game and fight of life. Robert Exel, the editor-in-chief of Boxing.com. You can follow him on Twitter at boxing_com and follow his great writing at www.boxing.com. We want to hear all of your thoughts also, so leave those in the comments section below, and please do us a favor. Subscribe to TYT Sports for more of myself and Robert Exel.